Hello there, metalheads, and welcome to another episode of Metal Verbalizers podcast. Today we're going to talk about the Australian hard rock band Dead City Ruins. Dead City Ruins is a band that started back in 2010 in Melbourne, Australia. Something that I really like with this band is their enthusiasm and burning desire to play rock and roll. Because straight away they went into the studio to record their first ever album that later was released in 2011. When it comes to their sound, they have really taken the best parts from rock and metal and made it into one awesome hard rock sound. It is an interesting mix because a lot of the riffing, for example, is very bluesy, but then all of a sudden they include these parts that are very metal, and the sound is very classically like Gibson through a Marshall turned up to 12. And all of this together creates a very heavy, like hard rock sound, like I said. One thing that kind of show that what the band is going for is what they wrote in the description for the video of them performing as a support act for Kiss in Lavier Arena in Melbourne. The description for this video said, audio mix straight off the desk, no edits, no bullshit. And I love this, because then you really get a feel for what the band really sounds like live. Even more awesome is that this video of their full set can be watched on their YouTube channel. But I have to say that it shows that they have been a band for a while, because they really have great chemistry and does such a good job interacting with the audience. And if we were talking about the future for the band, I would say that there is no sign for the bands to slow down. It might even be the opposite, with a brand new album recently released in September last year. Since that release of their album, we can hope for a lot of touring in 2023. I hope, at least. And well, we have talked a little bit about the sound, and we have mentioned their new album. So in mentioning their new album, it would be perfect to actually go through a little bit of their releases that they have put out. So we're actually gonna do that right now. The first album that they put out was called Midnight Killer. This one I haven't had my eyes on, so this one I can't really review. I haven't really found it anywhere. But the first album that we are going to talk about is named after the band, Dead City Ruins. And this one was released sometime in 2013 or 2014. I am a little bit unsure about that because I've seen both dates online when I did the research for this episode. And this one has songs like Happensella, Till Death, and Broken Bones, which are a few of my favorites from the album, and maybe even from the band, actually. But this is a 10-song album, so of course there are 7 more great tracks for you to check out. And then we had to wait a few years, because later in 2018, we got Dirty Water, We Are One, and Bones as 3 singles. And of course, this was only to tease us a little bit for what's coming. Later in 2018, we got the full album called Never Say Die. And you will find the singles among the awesomeness of this album, but you will also find a song called Rust and Ruin. This song is a little bit of an odd one out, because in most of the songs, it is very turned down and to later slap you in the face with the chorus. So that is something that is really good with this song. And I really like that when you have some songs that are a little bit turned down among the songs that are turned up to 12. One more cool thing with this masterpiece of an album is that they have included live versions of 3 of the songs on the album. And those you can find at the end of the album. I would guess that these live versions are as genuine as their live performance supporting Kiss there, where everything is just straight from the deck. And for you that aren't too familiar with music terminology, the deck is what we call the unit that all of the microphones that catches the sound on stage is connected to. But anyways, in 2019 they put out an EP with the songs from the previous album, and did like a 2019 versions. I'm not sure if these are re-recorded because they sound the same to me, but they put out an EP of some of the songs. Now we have reached 2022 actually, where we got 3 singles called The Sorcerer, Speed Machine, and Preacher. Once again, after the singles, our ears were blessed with a full-length album called Shockwave, with 12 songs that includes the singles obviously, but there are a number of songs that absolutely rocks on this album. In my honest opinion, this is the best release from the band so far. Some of the songs that come in this album are my all-time favorites from them. And a few examples of songs that you will find here are Madness, This Side of Dirt, and End of the Line. Now that I've gone through their releases, I think it would be interesting to make a list of my personal top 5 songs from Dead City Ruins. Important is that the order of them isn't important, and there are way more great songs from the band to check out, and that you absolutely should check out. But anyways, the first one I put down is Preacher from the album Shockwave, which is their latest album. And then as a number 2, I put Dog on a Leash, which is also from Shockwave. Then on number 3, we have We Are One from Never Say Die, and we have also River Song from Never Say Die. And then as a number 5, we have Happensella from Dead City Ruin. One thing there that I want to mention when it comes to River Song is just like Rusted Ruins, this one is one of those songs that are a little bit of an odd one out because it sticks out and it makes you pay attention to it in a different way. And I think that that might be one of the reasons to why it got on the top 5 list, because of that reason. And I really like that when a band that is really, really, really heavy, they dare to like turn everything down a little bit and maybe make a slower and a little bit less gain than all of that song. If you know what I'm talking about. And honestly, when I'm recording this right now, I know that I said that the list maybe wasn't in a particular order, but Preacher as number 1, to be perfectly honest, that might be the spot that that song should have, because I think that might be my top favorite song from the band. I absolutely love that song, and I think I've listened to it like 6 or 7 times now, and I can't get enough of it. It is great. But now it's time to tie everything together and wrap it up. This is a sound that really resonates with me, and this blues-based sound with spicy metal parts made into one sound that rocks so hard that you get thrown out of your chair. And to be perfectly honest, I only had to listen 30 seconds to decide that I would make this episode. And if all of this sound interesting for you guys, you should absolutely check them out. If it doesn't sound interesting, I highly recommend you to give them a shot anyways. You might get surprised. Don't forget to check them out on their social media as well, because there can be updated on what they are up to next. And on their YouTube, they don't only have music, they also have a few clips with other shenanigans, like a venue tour from Czech Republic. And if you like what we are doing here on Metal Verbalizers, don't forget to follow us as well on our social medias to get updates on what we are gonna do next. And the best part with that is that you can be the one to give us the next band to talk about. And with that said, thank you for listening. I've been Erik, and you've been listening to Metal Verbalizers podcast Verbalizing the band Dead City Ruins.